For this video, I decided to take a little break from programming and focuses on optimizing the process of Manim animation. So, I take a little detour to discuss and how can we increase the functionality by interacting with Manim. You see, sometimes it becomes difficult to imagine how to place a circle, square, or anything on the canvas, determining their locations and selecting the best color combination to maximize the potential of Manim. Often we end up using a trial and error approach to see what fits best for us. To facilitate such interaction, we need to enable the embed mode. This can be done using the embed function or the -e flag in the command line. This command initiates the interactivity with the Pyglet window and opens an IPython console as well. Now, let's say we want to interact with the objects here. And to interact with the window, first we need to inherit the features from the interactive scene class. In my window, if I hold down the F key, I can move the entire frame as I move my cursor. Additionally, I have the flexibility to rotate the frame by holding the D key and move the cursor. I think I have distorted this too much. Let me just reset everything by pressing the R key. Nice, right? Let's imagine another scenario. Suppose I want to move this text anywhere on the canvas. And to do that, first we need to enter the selection mode by pressing the S key. You will notice a crosshair appears. It indicates that we are in the selection mode. And now, if you hold the S key while moving the cursor around an object, you will notice these 4 dots appear, which indicate us what objects are currently selected. Let me select this square as well. So I hold down the S key and move my cursor over the square. Simple, right? If you press the U key, you can unselect the objects, or you might just click anywhere on the screen. Now, let me just select the text again. And to move it on the canvas, hold the G key and move the cursor around on the canvas. For some reason, let's assume I want to move it horizontally in a straight line. All I need to do is hold down the H key while moving the cursor. And for the vertical movement, the key is V. So I hold down the V key while moving the cursor to move my object in a vertical motion. Now, if I press and hold the A key, you will see the cursor location displayed in the bottom right corner of the window. It gives us the information where the cursor is. Let's say we want to add a dot at the cursor location when I click it. We can easily modify that by overriding the mouse click function. So if I press my mouse at various locations, I can see that Manim is adding the dots. As you can see, there are 3 parameters. The point parameter is the obvious one. It gives us the location of the mouse cursor. The button parameter indicates where the left or right button is clicked. It gives us an integer value. And the modifier, mods parameter, is to determine whether the modifier keys like Shift, Command or Control key were pressed during the mouse click event. We can compare these modifiers with the Manim defined constants. Let's just say I press and hold down the Shift key while clicking the mouse. And that modifier or the mods parameter gives me an integer value. And we can compare these integer values with the Manim defined constants. Let's make it more interesting. Instead of clicking it, let's add the dots while I drag the mouse. The D point parameter here reflects the change in the mouse position while dragging it. And this will come handy when you want to shift some object by some specified amount. Let's change the behavior of mouse release. And with this code, I'm changing the width and color of the last M object in the scene. There are two more functions left of the mouse events, on mouse motion and on mouse scroll. We'll use them when the time comes. Now it's time to take some input values from the keyboard as well. For keyboard events, there are only two methods, on key pressed and on key released. Suppose I want to display some text when I press the spacebar and transform it to another text when I release it. In these methods, the modifiers play the same role as they were playing in the mouse events. For keyboard events as well, Manim provides some constants for these modifiers to compare with. The key parameter here gives an integer value based on which keyboard key is pressed or released. Since it is quite difficult to remember which integer corresponds to which key, so I'm using chr function to transform the integer value into a character. And then I'm comparing the character with the space bar. Let's see the results.